Okay, so folks, good evening. I hope everyone's doing well. So this public hearing is called to order on April 7th, 2025 at 6:15 p.m. at the East Midwood Jewish Center, located at 1625 Ocean Avenue in Brooklyn. The purpose of this hearing is to hear public testimony with respect to an application for a sidewalk cafe under the Department of Transportation's DiningOut NYC program. The Community Board 14 office received notification on March 10th, 2025, and the Department of Transportation allows 40 days should the board wish to express an opinion to the department. The applicant is Bottega Kaufber Incorporated, doing business as Cafe Madeline, located at 1603 Cortellia Road. And so do I have the applicant here presently? Okay, so I do not see the applicant here presently. So board members, we did share the materials regarding the application, and so my question to board members is, did board members have any questions regarding Cafe Madeline's application? Okay, Alex, you have a question?
I have a question about the diagram. It can seem to match the photos for that found for our use of the space. So I'm wondering what how many tables from the restaurant.
Got you. That's a great question. Unfortunately, the applicant is not here to answer that question, but thank you for sharing that and putting that in the record. Yes, you have a question as well? Okay, thank you very much for sharing that question and concern as well too. Are there any additional questions from board members regarding the Cafe Madeline application? So I had more of a point of comment. It was also with the site plan. What I noticed was that I think in the diagram, the cross street that they had with Cortellia was East 37th Street. And I wanted to ask them why that was the case, just because the location is not East 37th Street, I believe it's East 16th Street. And so I did want to ask them why they had East 37th Street as the crossroad that was intersecting with Cortellia. So that was more of my point of comment regarding the application as well. Yes.
And then, I know they're not here, but another point of question is, if I'm remembering right, sidewalk cafes have to be 50% of the thing. There's a tree bed there, so it equals 8, which is less than 9.1. So I'm just curious if that.
Thank you for that. So your question is basically if they're set up.
It's not within the requirements.
Okay, understood. Thank you for that. District Manager Campbell, did you have a question or point of comment regarding the Cafe Madeline application?
Just options available to the board since the application.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so then please share with the board what the options are.
In the absence of the applicant, we could submit to the Department of Transportation. The board can either make a recommendation just on the basis of concerns for or against. The board can withhold a recommendation and express concerns to the Department of Transportation, noting that no recommendation was forthcoming because of the absence of the applicant, but the following concerns were expressed. The diagram did not match the site plan, the location was misabled, and concerns about usurping more than 50% of the sidewalk. And that, and then when DOT hears the case, these would be the concerns that they would have to address.
Thank you for that clarity. Board Member Dwight.
If she makes if District Manager Sean Campbell makes that as a recommendation, I would second that.
Okay, thank you. And so before I make a motion, are there any other questions or comments from board members? And so then the motion that I will make is, do I have a motion to withhold the recommendation for the Cafe Madeline application for sidewalk cafe and include the concerns that we have raised during this public hearing? Okay, so seconded. So let me start this way. Are there any board members opposed to that recommendation? Okay, so we have one. Thank you very much. Do we have any board members who are abstaining? Okay, no abstentions. Do we have any board members who are ineligible? So then, okay.
You can abstain.
Okay, so then we have 2 abstentions. So then, all board members in favor of that recommendation, could you please raise your hand? Okay, cool. All right, thank you very much. So that recommendation carries. And so, give me a second. Let me just make my notes for this. Okay, thank you. So, oh, wait, and then that's 8. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, the handwriting's messy.
That's okay. Okay. Thank you. So that concludes the public hearing for Cafe Madeleine. So let me move to the next one then. Okay. That is. Okay. So now we are on to the next public hearing. And so this second public hearing is called to order on April 7th, 2025 at 6:22 p.m. at the East Midwood Jewish Center. And so this is to hear public testimony with respect to an application for a sidewalk cafe under DOT's Dining Out NYC program. We received notification on March 17th, and the DOT allows 40 days should the board wish to express an opinion. The applicant is Vienna 2 Incorporated, doing business as Workstat, located at 509 Coney Island Avenue. And so is a representative for the applicant here today? Okay, could you please come up to the mic and announce your name, please? That's all right.
Hello, I am Robin Wertheimer. Thank you for hearing my application today.
Hello, Robin. Yeah, so basically for this one, what would be great would be just giving us a bit of a recap of the application you had submitted and any of the key details you'd like to, share with the board as well. And then, any questions that we have regarding what you've said, plus the application we reviewed, then we would share those with you. So.
The application was submitted with, I believe it's 6 tables outside, immediately touching the restaurant. And I don't know what else to say, really.
Okay.
We used to have 13 tables outside, but now we will be limited to, I think it's 6 or 7, as I understand it.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Board members, do we have any questions or comments for Robin regarding Workstat's application? Board member Dwight?
There's nothing in the street itself, no structure in the street itself?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Board member Sasha?
Question, but a comment is just I've seen your structure when it was during COVID times when you guys were doing outdoor dining a lot, and I think it was very well organized. It was always clean. There's always space on the sidewalk. So I think that the proposed plan, which requires about a bus table. So I'm sure it's going to be totally well managed because there will be less tables.
Mm-hmm.
I have positive feedback.
Is that a motion to approve?
Thank you so much for that. Do I have any additional questions or comments from board members? And so I do have one question, Robin. When I was looking at the plan and then the diagrams, I just wanted to confirm something. I forget, it's not on Coney Island Ave, it's the other street. There's like that Siamese connection. And so those the tables that the application proposed, those tables would be like, I guess, behind that Siamese connection? They wouldn't?
5 feet from the Siamese connection, as I understand it, per the DOT.
Okay, got it. Yeah, that was my question. Thank you so much for that. Any other questions or comments from board members regarding WorkStats Sidewalk Cafe application? Okay, so hearing none, do I have a motion to approve WorkStats Sidewalk Cafe application? Thank you. Okay, so then let me start backwards. Are there any abstentions? Are there any board members ineligible to vote? Are there any board members opposed to the recommendation? Okay. So then this means that the recommendation to approve carries unanimously.
Thank you so much. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. And so Robin, just like to give you a heads up, so what this means is when we send our recommendation to DOT, we'll tell them our recommendation, and then they would ultimately be the ones to say yay or nay. But
Thank you. I
No
appreciate you.
You too.
Appreciate the time.
thank you so
so
much for
much.
coming. Appreciate that. All right, so put that there. Yep. So what's the next one?
The next one
Mimi's?
is, but it's not until 6:35.
Okay, so we got time. Okay. All right, so folks, basically, with the minutia of state law and whatnot, our next public hearing is going to be Mimi's, and that won't start till 6:35. And so I cannot start earlier. I did not write the law. So we basically have 8 minutes to chill, and then at 6:35 p.m., we will start the third public hearing for DOT, which would be Mimi's. So thank you folks very much. Okay, cool. All right, folks, so good evening. It is 6:35 p.m., and this public hearing is called to order on April 7th, 2025, at the East Midwood Jewish Center, located at 1625 Ocean Ave. So the purpose of this one also is to hear public testimony with respect to an application for a sidewalk cafe under the Department of Transportation's Dining Out NYC program. And so just to reiterate, the Community Board 14 office, we received notification on March 3rd, and the Department of Transportation allows 40 days should the board wish to express an opinion to the department. So the applicant is Mimi's Brooklyn Incorporated, doing business as Mimi's, located at 1035 Cortellier Road. And the applicant is represented here today by Iskra Corsina. So if members of the public wish to testify, you must register for time by signing up at the back with Sarah and Patricia over there. If you do, please state clearly for the record your name, whether you are Community District 14 resident or the organization you represent, if applicable. So the first speaker will be Iskra. Yeah, so we have a podium up there. You can, yeah, exactly.
Hi, how are you?
Hello.
Hi, how are you, everyone? So, hi. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Hi.
Yeah, hello.
So I'm applying for Mimi's, correct now? Is that
Yes.
because I managed to restaurant Mimi's and Lea, so I wasn't sure which one? Okay, great. So, yeah, we're applying for a sidewalk cafe. We recently changed location of our restaurant because rent increased. So we moved just 2 blocks down from where we were before in Cortellier Road. And, yeah, in a new space. And we just need to put about 19 seats outside, which are very vital for our business because 50%, if not more, of the income, it comes from people sitting at our tables. We do have like a market section and to-go food. But yeah, that definitely would make a big difference. We moved the location 6 months ago. So it's been 6 months that we kind of had basically half of the sales. So definitely having the sidewalk would mean a lot. So yeah, it's, do you need a measurement of how big it is?
We have the application, but you
Yeah.
could also just restate for the record, the
like
measurements. Yes, please.
So yeah, like it's going to be like 8 foot wide, so it's going to take kind of less than half of exactly half of the sidewalk, because it's a pretty large sidewalk at the intersection. It's going to be long about 17 feet. So yeah, just to fit enough table to have for the summer.
Thank you. And so, board members, are there any board members who have any questions regarding Mimi's application for the sidewalk cafe? Okay. Yes.
Yeah, is there a way that we can quickly see what the front looks like, either through a post, or do you have any imagery?
Oh yeah, no, I do, definitely. How it looks currently, the restaurant, right? Yeah, sure. Let me
It's in
see.
the application that was sent for preview.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you go towards go ahead.
Oh, no, I just need to look for it. I have it
Oh, yeah,
somewhere.
yeah. But also, too, the application that was shared, if you open it up, the last few pages do have some screenshots. And so you may be able to check those out and then see what that proposed setup looks like. Definitely. So, Sasha? Yep.
It's actually a comment because on some of the pictures, it looks like there's more space on the sidewalk because they're more stretched out. And then the last 2 pictures, like picture 6 and 5, it looks like the seating takes up more than half of the sidewalk.
Are you talking about the one that looks like it has, the baby chairs in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the one before, it looks very stretched out. But then if you look at picture number 3, you could see that it's literally taking off the street because there's like a piece of the car in there. And then you can see that the sidewalk is very narrow.
Got it.
I'm just not the concern. Like I think it would be great, and I would love to see outdoor dining. But I just worried about how much space it takes in
Okay.
reality.
Okay.
I just quickly want to repeat that because we don't have the microphones going into the assembly this time. So just for those and for the purpose of the live stream, the concern expressed was whether or not there's any part of the setup that would exceed 50% of the sidewalk space. And if you could address that.
Definitely. We kind of, the re-edited version, we lower it to 8 feet, I believe, and the total length of the sidewalk is 17 feet, so that it would not exceed that. And also, we changed the opening of it, so it's going to be towards the opening is going to be towards where the red light is, so that leaves an additional empty space kind of the entrance of the restaurant to make sure that there is enough space for strollers and, kind of anything that, just one single person walking by themselves. Yeah.
So then, Iskra, to follow up on that, so like the diagram, so for the site plan, like looking at Stratford Road, so the outdoor setup, it looks like that's 9 feet, I think, wide, right?
Yeah.
And then the sidewalk itself is, I think, like 17 feet, correct?
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Okay, so then the concern, so then just to reiterate the concern
Yeah.
that Sasha has is that, whoops, excuse me real quick. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, I think, okay. So yeah, so to reiterate the concern that board member Sasha raised, right, like with that picture, but also just like the diagram.
Yeah.
So it looks like the proposal is the outdoor would be 9 feet, I think, wide by like 18 feet long. And then the clear path is measured as like 17 feet completely.
Yeah.
And so the concern is that right now what's proposed, the 9 feet, would be over the 50%.
Exactly. So we would need to become like 8.5 if we want to be
Yeah,
correct,
like
or
maybe
8,
8.5 or
just to make it
8 or
round,
something like that,
just to make
yes.
it round.
Exactly. And so given that concern that the board member raised, is that something that Mimi's would address?
Yeah, no, definitely. We can just shorten it by 1 foot. That's fine.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Of course.
And then I saw board member Parker, you had a question as well too?
It was a follow-up to exactly what, it was a follow-up to exactly what you were saying. One, is that going to be rectified in the plans? And two, I think I heard you say that you guys already moved it back a foot. Is that correct?
Like I had like an email exchange after we submitted the plan, and I can't remember now if we submitted it there, the 9 feet, or we just said that we're going to do 8 feet, but I can redraw it and just submit and write that we're going to do it 8 feet. So we resubmit the plan. I don't know how the procedure works, if I need to send an email to the same person that I was emailing to. And
right now, is it 8 feet or 9 feet?
Oh, we didn't put anything out yet. I mean, you mean in the drawing, sorry.
Yeah.
Outside. Oh, no, now, like, I don't have here the latest one, because I here have a 9 feet, but I remember that I talked with the person that I was emailing that it would have to be less, so half, so probably I can take out half foot and redraw it, or 1 feet.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Of course.
Okay, thank you.
That conversation was we couldn't hear.
Sorry, y'all.
Oh, me? Or the lady?
I can summarize. DOT has been holding the applicant compliant to the rule, and so the original submission was in excess of 9 feet, but in email exchanges with the DOT representative, the applicant has been told to peel it back to comply back to 8 feet will be the final application. And I think that is the proposal that the board is being asked to approve, right?
I think so, but if it's not, I can redraw it and resubmit. But I think that's the final.
So if it's not already in the plan, it will be resubmitted correctly.
Okay, thank you. And so I believe did you have a question as well too?
No, on the Stratford side. Yeah. I'm sorry? Exactly. So yeah, we will not have tables on that side of Cortelli because it's narrower than the Stratford area. No, we don't. No. Which tables? No. Unless kind of like when we open the doors, because we have like kind of doors at the corners, they open kind of like that, so we put a door at the intersection of the opening of the table intersection opening of the door, but we did not put tables yet. Of course. Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. Sasha, did you have a follow-up question or comment, I guess? Or?
So if you're updating the measurements, does this mean you're going to lose the amount of tables?
No, 1 feet is not as big.
Because I'm looking at the pictures
Yeah.
again, and the amount of tables you have in the picture
Yeah.
is the same exact amount that you're proposing in the plan.
Yeah.
How do these things get repeated since they can't hear?
We put less space between the single table and the double tables.
It just looks very tight already. So I'm just concerned about like
How tight it's going to be? I don't know, that sounds like.
but just how, again, like
How much we're going to follow through with putting it 8 feet? Yeah? Of course we're going to do it, like, because I think it's just kind of playing around with tables, right? Also, these one were drawn with tables that are square tables. They're made out of wood, and we changed to round tables. They're like metal, so the diameter is also smaller. So that's an easy adjustment.
So just to reiterate, there were two things. So the first is, and Ms. Jensen, correct me if I stated incorrectly, I believe your question for Iskra was, does the plan propose outdoor seating on the Cortelyou Road side or the Stratford Road side, right? And then, and the answer is that it's on the Stratford Road side. It's not on the Cortelyou Road side. And then, Sasha, the question that you had for Iskra is, amending the diagram to have 8 feet instead of 9 feet, would that therefore change the number of tables that are proposed in the current plan for seating? Right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Got you.
The number of tables wouldn't change.
Oh, the number of tables wouldn't change.
Am I getting?
No. I was just confirming your question was, okay, got it. So I just want to make sure I got your question correct. And then Iskra, you told Sasha that no, the number of tables would not change, right?
No, will most likely not change because we changed the kind of tables, which is slightly smaller. Because that kind of, the yellow table that the lady was mentioning, the yellow one, because it's metal, so it's round rather than the classic square ones that kind of like are more bulky. So those can be played around, moved differently. The layout can change. I mean, as long as we have like at least some tables out, even if it's like 17 seats instead of 19, that'll be fine.
Okay, thank you.
Just confused because at first you said there was the yellow tables weren't hers. So the tables are hers now? Or?
No, I never said that they were not ours. I said that the tables were placed, we have like 2 doors that open on both sides at the corner. So when you open both doors, you can place the table there. So it's kind of on the, how you say, this part of the door. So we put like an additional table there because we have just 2 now inside. So we put an additional one on that line. And maybe, I don't know, like the worker was on the other door as well, but we did not put them out. We didn't put the setup out.
So Iskra, to follow up with, so let me restate Board Member Valentine's question, which is also building off of Board Member Jensen's, which is Ms. Jensen has seen like yellow tables outside of Mimi's, and so the yellow tables that have been seen outside of Mimi's, do those tables belong to Mimi's or not?
Oh, yeah, no, the tables, of course, that's what I said in the beginning. They belong to us. They were just placed not on the sidewalk. They were kind of on where the door opens, just put there. Maybe it was part of it on the sidewalk. I don't know now the worker how he did it. It was one day that was hot. So I guess maybe it was in between.
Okay. Did that clarify your question, Board Member Valentine?
I guess it would.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And so do we have any additional questions or comments from board members? So heads up for you, unfortunately, I do see your hand raised, but since you're not a board member, I can't take your...
Well, we're just
doing the public hearing.
members yet.
Yeah. So, thank you, though. And so, yes?
How many tables and how many will be seated at these tables? Because that space is kind of tight.
Got you. And so the question... So the question for you is, how many people are proposed to be seated in your plan?
So 19 is proposed, and if we don't fit for whatever reason 19, when we scale it back, even with a smaller table, which I think still it could, but if it doesn't, then we're going to sit 17 or 16, and we can change that. That's fine.
Okay. So.
Sorry.
Okay.
So 2 people at each table. It's round tables. It's 2 people, right? It's kind of like this size table. So 2 for each table.
So then you're saying 2 people per table, and how many tables are you proposing?
So they're going to be like, let me double check here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 16, 18, 20. So yeah, basically like here on the drawing there is 20 seats, so it's going to be 19. We don't need to scale it down to 19, maybe less if needed. And then there is 3, 6, 9 tables in total.
Okay.
And if we need to scale it down to 7, we scale it down to 7.
So you're saying that right now it could be a maximum of 9 tables with 2 people seated?
Yes.
Okay.
And just one with 1 person, because we need 19.
Did that answer your question? Or regarding your question of how many tables? Okay, got you. Board Member Parker.
Follow-up question to that. In this picture, there's 16 seats that I count that are there.
Sorry, I just don't know if I have
the old version of the wooden.
Set up. Oh, yeah.
We're scaling back a foot.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be at, instead of 9, 8,
Yeah.
which means the space is tighter. How are you getting from 16 here to 19 count that you have?
I think it's the size of the table that is going to make a difference, because it's on those same kind of tables that you see there.
Okay.
So that's gonna, but again, you know, I haven't tried it because we didn't set it up because we couldn't. So ideally, I think that we can fit 19, but if we can't, I just put 16 if I see that even with a smaller table, it doesn't fit.
Point of clarity.
Yeah.
This is the same length that you're proposing, that's it?
I think so. I think it's the same. Sorry, I'm just checking the picture. I think it's the same length. Yeah.
So same length and then less width.
Yeah.
And smaller tables, and you think you are proposing 19 versus the
It
16?
could fit, but you know, again, I'm gonna try because we didn't try at all to put it out since you know, we were told that we needed to submit the application and everything. Exactly. So I didn't try. I know that it's more a theoretical thing, but if it doesn't fit, we're just gonna scale it back. That's no problem.
Okay. Thank you. Board Member Parker, were your questions answered?
Yes.
Okay.
Sort of.
Got it. And so are there any additional questions from board members? Okay, so then to recap, the options.
Members of the public?
Was it?
Members of the public?
And yes, so now we could hear from members of the public. By any chance, did any members of the public like sign up to speak at the back?
No. But she can just say her name now and we'll record it.
Okay. So, ma'am? So then you could come up there and then,
She can just stay there.
oh, you can stay there? Okay. So then actually, ma'am, you can just stay there and just tell us your name and then your comment or your thing, yes.
What she's talking about, I have found them in my paper, right? Saying about wheelchair and then disabled going to ride the wheelchair around to go around. We're just saying it in case they go to the table, because some people, we got to look out for the disabled, how to
Yeah.
walk in the street. But a lot of people put this particular cafe on the street,
Uh-huh.
but they forget to have all the seniors and disabled who cannot really walk around. All these things. So we just want to make sure because they're very big structurally that we're not going to create more problem.
Yeah, of course.
Repeat that for the record. Just for the record, in the Lime stream, the concern expressed was just mobility around the chairs and tables, especially for people who are have mobility differences, including wheelchairs.
Okay, so just to understand, is like around the tables or to come inside the tables?
There's a round table, instead of folding round tables, or instead of the bend tables that you can fold, then you put it back. But then we say it's like a twin table.
It's going to be like one of those like round folding tables.
It's a round folding.
Yeah, it's one of those kind of metal ones.
How many nine? Because she said 8 inches, but then this is a very small place. So
8 inches? Sorry.
the table are you expecting to be
Well, like hopefully if we can fit 9, so the people can walk comfortably, 9. Otherwise, we scale it back to whatever we can fit. No, of course. It's just that, like as we said, like I don't know if you're familiar, like what it meant for restaurant having to redo all the outdoor, like without and drawing plans without actually ever trying them out, because like this has been drawn really tentatively, like following all the guidelines that the DOT gave. That, by the way, the DOT changed after saying that the COVID guidelines would be permanent. They got changed, we had to reapply, we had to pay, we had to do all of that, and then submit like a plan that is like a theoretical plan. That's why I'm saying I understand all the concerns, but if I have to scale it back to tables, I'm okay. I want to respect what the DOT said, which is more than 50% of the sidewalk, and I'm totally fine with that because I want people to be able to walk and everything. And about the tables, it's tentative. We change the kind of table, of course, and I understand. I just... Yeah. No, I totally understand your concern. I would be concerned too. I'm just trying to present what's the point of view of me literally drawing the plan. I was just trying to, okay, let's see what we can come up with so we get this permit. You know, we've been waiting for 6 months to get it, and we still don't have it. So, you know, anything that we need to do, like scaling back 1 feet, taking 2 tables out, it's fine. I'm flexible. It's not that I'm upset. It needs to be 9 tables. It needs to be 19 people. Hopefully, if we can fit and everything can be smooth, great. Otherwise, sure, we do 15, 14. At least we get some money in.
So thank you very much for sharing your comments and your concerns. We appreciate you for doing that. And so I do want to, so I'll take 2 more things. A comment from District Manager Campbell, and then I believe Board Member Changajita has a question or comment as well.
Just quickly to reassure people, I mean, there are a lot of rules. There's DOT rules, ADA compliance rules, and to the extent that anybody who has a business in the right-of-way is not following those rules, we're also here to field complaints and to ensure compliance. So that's it.
Oh, and just like to say, if we don't follow the rules that DOT says, that's like hefty fines. So we do follow them because we're 1 foot out. That's like $500 or $1,000. So it's in our interest to have it set right.
Thank you. And so, Board Member Changajita?
Yeah. Quick question.
Yeah.
Will the chairs change as well as
Yes.
the tables? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's going to be the same yellow foldable metal chairs, so they go with the table. It's also easier for us to bring it back at night, otherwise the other one is heavier to put in and out. It's a whole thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. So, yeah, that's the last one. Yeah. So that's the last one in terms of Mimi's. And so we heard the comments, we heard the comments raised by the public and also board members and things like that. And so the first question that I have for folks, so I'm going to put out a motion out there. So my first question is, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Okay, so then what I'm going to do then is I'm going to start backwards. And so do I have any board members who are opposed? All right, so I have 1, 2.
Is that you?
I see 3 opposed.
I have 4 because Sasha's hand is up.
Okay, got it. Okay, got you. Okay. So next, do I have any board members who are abstaining? 3. Yeah. Okay. So do I have any board members who are ineligible to vote? Okay. So then the board members who do approve, could they raise their hands, please? Okay, so the motion carries.
Can I have a point of clarity?
Yes.
Is there a way with the motion carrying that we can clearly note that it be contingent upon the 8 feet being amended in the plan? Being amended to 8 feet in the plan, sorry.
The motion already carried without that, but I will work with the applicant and follow up with the board.
Okay.
Sort of.
Yeah, we kind of jumped the motion quick, so it'll be in play.
Yep. But yes, we will. So yeah, the motion carried already, but yes, we will work with them to make sure that what ultimately is, if DOT agrees, then that what they're putting is compliant with all the concerns that we shared. Yes.
I just want to tell the limited woman when not donating to the community who pay taxes and employees and here and needs to be part of the board, not just the board. It's just part of the community to pay taxes.
So ma'am, so I thank you for sharing that. And So ma'am, I thank you for that. There's 2 things that I can tell you. So the first thing, very quickly, is just that this is a public hearing, and so for the purposes of the process and state law, if you do have comments, then yes, definitely you can stop in the back and do that in the public hearing. But what I'm also going to tell you is when we do the general board meeting, there's a public comment period, and so that's also another place to share additional concerns in addition to what we talk about here. And then the third thing is, if you stay for that afterwards, then you and I can discuss further, right? So those are the 3 things that I want to tell you about that. So I thank you very much for sharing your comments and your concerns and letting you know that there are places to do that, right? So next up, we have, give me a second here. So we did Mimi's, so that carried. Put this down real
Let's just
quick.
move directly into the other
I will.
hearing without the additional.
I will. Yeah, it is. I'm good. Okay. So here we go. So Iskra, you're still up there? And so this public hearing is called to order on April 7, 2025 at 7 p.m. So we're still at East Midwood Jewish Center. And so this is with respect to an application for a roadway cafe application under the Dining Out program. So we received the notification on March 3rd, and we allow 30 days. And so the applicant is Ashby LLC, doing business as Leah Restaurant located at 1022 Cortellier Road. So the applicant is also represented here today by Iskra Corsina. And so if members of the public wish to testify, register for time in the back with Patricia and Sarah. And please state clearly for the record your name, whether you are a CB14 resident or the organization you represent. And so Iskra, you're up again. But this is for Leah, the roadway application this time.
Yeah, okay, so this is like the restaurant that is in front of me. I manage both because it's the same owner. So this would be just for the roadside. So this is like the permanent one, the one that lasts just from April to November, I believe, and then it gets withdrawn for the winter time. And it would be 2 seating areas because the seating area needs to be divided by 6 feet, the 2 seating areas, in order to give kind of easy access in and out in case of emergency or anything else. So it's 2 sections, like there would be 8 feet large and 30 feet long, both of them. And there would be 6 feet between each of them.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. And so do any board members have any questions or comments for Iskra regarding the application? So Board Member Mordechai.
This roadway structure is not on the Cortellier Road side, it's on the Stratford.
Correct.
Does the cafe have an enclosed structure on the sidewalk as well?
There is on Cortellier.
Was that a separate application that was done for that cafe extension, or is that something that was pre-approved from before, and you're just adding this on? Because I'm concerned that you're overexpanding the size of the rest of the use of the restaurant, because you already have enclosures on the sidewalk, and now you're asking for a roadway cafe as well. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes, please reply.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for that. So the enclosed structure that you see as the patio, the one that we have also in winter, correct? The one that is like up also now. That's on the perimeter of the building. So it's not sidewalk.
It extends into the sidewalk.
The one in front, the one on Cortellier?
It's as of right because it's within the building line.
Okay, so that's not the case. So
Right.
It's considered within the building line as of right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to know.
Perfect. No, thank you.
Okay. Are there any additional questions or comments for, so I see Sasha and then I see Denise.
Am I wrong, or did you mention that it would be just for those warmer months, that it would come, you said
Roads.
tables would be outside for a certain amount of months?
Yeah, that's per rule of the DOT.
So can you repeat that?
So the rule of the DOT stated like that the roadside structures, I mean structure in this case, not even a structure, like the roadside seating, it can exist just between April and November. And that it needs to be taken out for winter time, probably for like safety, because maybe car, ice, slipping, something. I'm not sure why, but I mean also because it's super cold, so if you don't have a structure, what you're going to sit for in January. But yeah, it's like just 6-7 months that we can have it. Of course.
Okay. And then Board Member Dennis?
I just want to remind everyone of the findings we had from the transportation, or not the transportation, the transition committee, as we consider any applications that involve roadway. Just that, in general, our board's makeup is kind of opposite of the district residents' makeup, where even more people don't own cars and don't street park, which would mean they're not trying to street park, and do rely more on transportation. And can you just as we consider the balance of needs, noting that we're not perfectly representative on this, and to think a little beyond just your own personal potential uses for it.
Yeah. Thank you. And so I have Board Member Yvette.
Is there an actual separation and break in the structure? You mentioned that their seating would be separated by 6 feet.
Yeah.
Is there a separation, or is it just one long?
No, there would be a separation. We didn't set it up yet because we didn't get approved yet, but it would just be kind of two different areas enclosed, kind of like with planters. It's not actually planters, it's a specific material that DOT requires us to use. It needs to have, to isolate the seating area, so it would be like one section, then 6 feet, and then another section.
So someone could walk through.
Exactly. So it's not just a one long piece. That's what they require. Otherwise, it's can be dangerous. You need to go all around. Of course.
Okay. District Manager Campbell?
Just, I had a little district manager brain and called FDNY and checked with them in terms of passage, and they said they had no issues with it.
Thank you. And so, Board Member Valentin.
My concern is looking at these pictures, I see a lot of trash hanging around. Are you going to be making sure that the area is clean?
Yeah, no, definitely. Absolutely, yeah.
Are there any other questions so I have one, and so one of the questions that I have is that in section 1 of the application, I don't believe that I saw it indicated which permanent parking selection your structure was going to do. Like there was a P1, a P2, and a P3. And so my question for you is the roadway cafe the roadway structure that you're proposing, which one of those would it be?
Of which kind of parking? Sorry, I missed that. Sorry.
Sure. So like section 1 of the application, there's like a permitted parking selection that's indicated, and it says like a P1, a P2, or a P3, and it's above the diagram of the site plan, and I don't believe that I saw it indicated which one of those options your proposed roadway would be, and so which one of those is it?
I'm not sure if I know the answer for that, because when I was reviewing the application with the person at the DOT, I resubmitted and they said it was okay, so I did not look what kind of parking should be. I don't know what is the difference, really, because before we used to have it, on COVID time, we used to have it in the same spot, just not divided by the 6 feet, so I'm not sure. I just know that we need to be 20 feet away from the cross. I know that we need to be 20 feet away from the crosswalk because of the incoming traffic. So we're going to respect that. I'm just not sure about the parking.
Sure.
Yeah.
Got it. And so the reason I was asking that question is just because the concern I have is just I just wanted to be sure that whatever selection was made, that it would, what the proposed plan would be compliant. And so the concern that I have is just because since I don't see which one of those is selected, I don't know if the plan that is proposed is meeting all those criteria depending upon the selection. So that's why I have that question.
I understand. What is the difference between the P1, P2, P3, just so I have an idea, because I don't know if I can maybe answer it now. Or
Give me a second real quick.
Thank
you. Sure. So basically, I'm summarizing, but basically P1, according to the site plan part of the application, it says there's P1 for parking space, P2 for loading area, P3 for a floating parking lane. And then for 1, it says parking spaces, which include meter and non-metered spaces, commercial parking, alternate side parking, angled parking, seasonally restricted parking. 2 is loading areas, including loading only, truck loading, hotel loading, and no parking zones. And then 3 is a floating parking lane that is separated from the curb by a protected bicycle lane that is adjacent to the curb.
Got it.
And so that's the thing. And so I'm flagging that just because, like I was saying, the concern is because I didn't see a selection, then I see the site plan, and I know there's certain things that have to be accounted for, but what I don't know is if, in absence of that selection, I don't want to assume that therefore, whatever the selection is, it's going to be.
No, of course. From what I know, it's all just, there will be P1, I guess, parking, so regular parking. So it's not a loading area, or there is not a floating, sorry, what is it, floating lane? So it's just kind of regular parking on that area of spot.
Okay, so let me see, I see something from Board Member Parker and then District Manager Campbell.
On the parking point, if I'm reading this right, to be able to have the roadway, it has to meet one of these parking expectations. So that would mean the Stratford side has to have one of these 3 parking, but it doesn't. I just took a look. The Portola side has metered parking, but Stratford doesn't meet any of these 3 criteria.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, thank you very much for that clarity. I appreciate that. Thank you. Are there any additional questions or comments from board members regarding this roadway application for Leah? I see one more from Sasha, and then we'll go for a motion.
You mean the design of the barrier around or of the tables?
Not the tables is fine.
Ah, okay.
How is it going to look? The structure is going to look visually, and yeah, I'm actually concerned about the maintenance of it as well because it wasn't very well maintained during COVID.
Yeah, like we need to have now. Like we cannot do the same kind of structure that we used to have like during COVID. Like it was a bit more random during COVID. It's kind of like a bit not anything goes, but kind of. So now there needs to be specific materials, right? Kind of like that are kind of plastic containers that need to be filled with water. They need to have like a cut. How you say that? Kind of a line that reflects the light of the car. So there is specific stuff that we need to buy for it actually. So it's not going to be more homemade like some of the structure were in COVID. It's very specific material that needs to be used, especially when it's on the road, because it needs to kind of give enough buffer in case, anything, there is a car or something. Yeah.
And then if I remember correctly, before pandemic, you guys used to use indoor space of the restaurant to have the patio, which extends like whatever the perimeter of the building.
Yeah.
And then now you don't use this inside of the space. There's no seating inside the restaurant.
Yeah.
And so you use the front.
Mhm.
And now you're trying to put the tables outside, so it's like a huge expansion, basically.
Yeah. So like we start doing it during COVID, that kind of to have like that area outside, and that's because we had the possibility of having it, and people like to sit outside way more than like indoor. That's why we try to, cater also to that. Sometimes we do kind of music in the evening, like during summer. So people like to sit out, especially if it's big groups. And it gets noisy when it's outside. It's kind of, it's outside. At least, until we're open till 10 usually.
In terms of noise complaints, did you ever have?
No, not really, because we close at 10:30. So also when we have music, we make them start at 7:30, and then they finish by 9:30 usually. And it's kind of, it depends once a week, once every 2 weeks in summer, more or less.
Yeah, I was just curious about the design of it.
We gotta wrap it up.
Yeah, I think that if there is like this structure that we need to, not structure, but this kind of specific things that we need to buy for it, then it's going to be a very light setup and easy to maintain. The problem with the old setup that was made by previous managers, whatever, is that it was kind of a sort of wall made out of woods, and there was kind of bricks inside. So, with rain, it would get more messy. But this is actually kind of, I think this being plastic is going to also be less porous. So it's going to be better than what we had before. And easier to remove also for us in November when we have to.
That's very important.
Yeah, no, of course.
Okay, thank you. And so I'll take one more from Barden, and then I'll ask the floor for a motion.
Just quickly, Sean, I assume you would have said, had there been, but is there any history of complaints?
There is not.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you folks very much. And so the next piece, though, I did get ahead of myself. And so if any members of the public do wish to testify, register for time at the back with Patricia Rosaire. Did any folks from the public register to testify in regards to the application from Leah?
No.
Okay, so then seeing none, do I have a motion from the floor? Motion to?
It's a motion to approve.
Wait, what?
I thought, looking at the design, and the picture she gave is two different things, so will we make that she add it to her?
Point of order.
So point of,
We already have a motion on the floor.
so let me make a clarity point, right? So point of clarity, right? And so there was a motion on the floor to approve, and then Deborah Valentine pointed out a concern regarding that the diagrams don't appear to match what is in, the photos don't appear to match what's in the diagram, right? And so the point of order is that since we already have a motion on the floor, then basically if that motion does not carry, then I would need to make a new motion. And then we could do.
In future, when you go to make a motion,
Yes.
just don't look on that side. There's other people over here.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much for that, Board Member Valentine. Thank you. And so we have a motion on the floor. The motion on the floor is to approve the roadway application for Leah Restaurant. And so are there any folks opposed? All right. 1, 2. All right. 3, 4. Are there any abstentions? Are there any folks ineligible? So those in favor, please raise your hands. Okay, so that motion carries regarding the approving. I am restating for the record that Board Member Valentine did state concerns regarding discrepancies between the photos in the application and the site plan itself. And so what I'm going to be asking the district manager to do is to work with the applicant and DOT to ensure that if DOT does approve it, what is approved is compliant. Yes.
Aren't all of the photos like from the past?
Yes.
Before these new regulations, so like it's not like that's part of the application. It's expected that they don't match the new regulations.
I will nevertheless work with the applicant and DOT to make sure that everything is compliant.
I just want to make sure that we like understand this for future hearings like this.
Let's move along.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. And so that concludes the last public hearing at 7:16 p.m. And so that takes us right to the general board meeting. And so this meeting is called to order on Monday, April 7th at 7:16 p.m. under the applicable statutes of New York State, the Charter of New York City, the board's bylaws, and Robert's Rules of Order. And so the board's policy is to encourage detailed public discussion of matters before the board, at our committee meetings, and at public hearings. Consequently, except by board members, there will be no public discussion at our regular monthly meeting of matters about which a public hearing or committee meeting has been held. Specific service delivery requests or complaints should be brought to the attention of the district office's staff by calling the board office during regular business hours or by visiting our website anytime. Other matters of civic interest may be brought before the board during our scheduled public comment period, which will begin tonight after all other business on the board's monthly meeting agenda has been concluded. So please, no partisan political appeals or advertising of for-profit enterprises will be heard. Persons wishing to speak during the public comment period were asked to pre-register. And so, Secretary, could you please call the roll?
Good evening. Wahil Ahmed. Carissa Alfonso. Present. Gregory Alvarez. Indy Bendel. Benjamin Bendet. Davina Bolanot. Christopher Bromson. Edward Sen. Carl Henry Cesar.
Here.
Florencia Changajita, present. Yvette Claire Jean.
Here.
Stephen D. Cohen. Elizabeth Dennis.
Present.
Derek Donald. Sabina Dorville. Joseph Dweck.
Here.
Gerald Gray.
Here.
Suzanne Hargett.
Here.
Musa Hassoun.
Here.
Mordecai Osarski. Nautica Johnson. Erica Phillips Jones. Shahid Khan.
Yes, here.
Alex Lesman.
Here.
Donald Loggins.
Present.
Sasha Masluski. Melissa Minnick. Ephraim Nierenberg. Eric Ost.
Present.
Ornella Parker.
Present.
Nora Pena. Suzanne Phillip.
Present.
Zvi Plotska.
Here.
Barton Prasant.
Here.
Baza Ruhi. Nina Sabgir. Joel Siegel. Gail L. Smith. Tova Svenberg. Abraham Treff. Deborah Valentin.
Here.
Dawn Marie Walker. Quorum.
Thank you so much for that, Secretary. And so, next up, the minutes from the March 2025 General Board meeting. Did the district office receive any proposed changes from email?
We did not.
Do we have any proposed changes for the March 2025 minutes from the floor? Yes. So then, do I have a motion to adopt the March 2025 General Board meeting minutes? Okay. Are there any folks in abstention? Any folks ineligible to vote? Any opposed? Okay. So the motion carries. So next up, we have the district manager's report.
Okay, I'm going to give that to you to hold on to. I'm going to grab my notes. Good evening, everybody. It's a little bit of a long report. I'm going to try to talk fast. Since we last met, I went to a few city council budget hearings. One of which was the Government Operations Committee meeting, where I testified with 4 other colleagues, 3 online, and several who submitted testimony in support of a budget item that this board has supported, which is an increase in our own baseline budget. As many of you know, we have not had a substantial increase in over 20 years. If you look at 2002 to 2022, our average would have been 1.5% a year. Inflation was about 2.55% a year, so we are not keeping up. We are, in fact, falling behind. Yet, and arguably, our responsibilities have grown. I'm feeling like we're getting some traction and support out there, but for board members and community members who wish to support this budget request, please give your city council members a call and ask them to put this in their budget priorities as we move forward with what I'm sure will be a soundly debated city budget. I also attended the Sanitation Committee hearing to advocate for the restoration of manual litter patrol, otherwise known as MLP, otherwise known as cleaning. With 50 dead-end streets, 20-some road bridges, train trestles on avenues K, L, M, N, O, and P, we have a lot of places that need cleaning from the Department of Sanitation, yet DSNY asks us to ask our council members to chip in. We also have 5 of those. So how is this efficient or effective for our district? It is not. This is a $1.1 billion agency, B with a B, and City Council gives it back $57 million, yet we don't have cleaning throughout the district. So we're hoping that gets restored to the baseline the way it was before COVID. I also took relevant portions of at the last meeting, you might recall that we did approve our letter of comment back to city agencies that had remarked on our budget requests. I took portions of that and edited it slightly to submit as testimony to all of the relevant agencies, including NYPD, parks, what else? Sanitation, did I say? And DEP. DCP also released the citywide statement of needs. You might remember that's the document where they let us know if they're going to put any city city properties in our district. There are no plans to cite anything in District 14, but DCP, in its infinite wisdom, which has been informed by our constant request, has acknowledged that there is a need for a new 70th Police Precinct house. However, their document notes that this has been a request, that this was first proposed in 2020, and we know actually it was proposed more like 3 decades ago. So I'm going to resubmit last year's last year's response to the City of Needs. I'll update it with the same request that the city inform us if indeed there is going to be a city site located in our district, and that they update their records, and I'll substantiate all of the different phases of this saga. And finally, I just want to, I don't do it often enough, so I just want to make sure that I thank my staff, Sarah and Patricia, for their work and keeping us moving forward and serving the community in countless ways. Thanks. That wasn't so bad, was it?
Thank you very much for that.
Just walked in.
I got it. So there's a couple folks who are here that I need to recognize, and so in order, we have Brittany Dixon from Assemblymember Brian Cunningham's office, so thank you very much for coming here, Brittany. We have Nancy Lulu from the Brooklyn DA's office, so thank you very much, Nancy. We have Anthony Duran from the Office of the Public Advocate. We have the Public Advocate himself, Mr. Jamani Williams. So We have Brian Grady from Councilmember Rita Joseph's office. We have Mary Kay Siri from Assemblymember Carroll's office. And we also have Abraham Malachowski from Councilmember Farrah Lewis's office as well.
The new haircut.
Thank you very much. And so before I go to the chair's report, Public Advocate Williams, would you just like to hang out and watch, or do you want to say a few words if you feel like whatever you... Okay.
It's like, there's a choice, though. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You take the podium.
Yeah, take the podium over there. Yep.
Good evening. Peace and blessing. Love and light to everybody. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
It is great to. I'm just coming home basically, so this is great. It's been a while since I've been here. Thank you, Chair, District Manager, the entire board. It's the first time I'm here since Alvin Burke passed away, so I just want to make sure I mention his name for so much of the work that he's done, and we went so far back. And before I was a public advocate, council member, community organizer, and doing the work at Flatbush Development Corporation, thanks to this community, I'm now citywide. So I try to come back when I can. We have our staff here. I just want to let folks know some of the things that are going on. I know we're in a bit of a situation now, and everybody is a little bit concerned, a little bit worried. First of all, just everybody breathe. We're still here. We're still working it out. So just a couple of things that's going on in my office. Hold on, I lost the page. I apologize. Okay, so everybody knows there's free tax preparation that's available for all eligible New Yorkers. The deadline to file a tax return obviously is April 15th. Our office can let you know where you can get that as well. So folks, please let people know. We're also hiring in the office. So if you have folks that are looking for positions, we're hiring for a first deputy public advocate, constituent service associate, special assistant, and senior policy and budget associate. That's also on my website as well. You can also speak to Anthony, who's here, if folks are interested. We passed a resolution last week, I think, in the City Council. I think it's an important one. It's just a resolution, so hopefully the state can change it. But it removes the current lifetime ban on folks who want to serve jury duty if they've been convicted of a felony. I feel like if you've been convicted of a felony and you served your time, you should be brought back into the community as much as possible. We want people to be civically engaged. We found the more people civically engaged, the less likely they are to recidivate. So we're hoping that goes a long way. Our budget season is well underway. We do know there's a lot of cuts that are coming from our federal government, and with the tariff situation, there was a big hit. A lot of folks don't realize a lot of our money comes from tax revenue and a lot from Wall Street. And so when that goes up and down, the city budget's going up and down. But Speaker Adams and the council are doing their best to try to figure out how we can make up some of those funds. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. So we're just telling folks to hold on. I do push for folks to also look at revenue raising options. Sometimes folks push back on that, and we're told whenever we look at revenue raisings, the wealthiest folks are going to leave the city. That's usually not what happens. If you saw the New York Post of all folks, once again said, it's probably about the 6th, 7th year in a row, we have more billionaires than anywhere else in the world, and we're increasing by 14. Which means they do not go when these changes happen. The people who go are actually New Yorkers. We've lost hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers who can't afford to live in the city, so they bear the brunt of everything. So we're hoping that folks will at least look at some revenue-raising options as best as possible to kind of offset some of the cuts that we know are going to be happening. We have an interfaith summit that's happening actually this Thursday, April 10th at 8:30. It's in the Municipal Building if anyone is looking to come through. I think we're going to be discussing mental health and faith. And lastly, for those who have News 12, we are on Ask the Advocate every, I think it's third Monday. So this is going to be, our next episode is April 14th from 7 to 8. We take live call-in conversations and questions, and I get hit with everything that you might imagine and do my best to answer it. And I think I'll close out with that. We're on social media. Folks are following everything that we're doing. We'll continue to try to lift up as much as we can from New Yorkers in this turbulent time. I don't know if you want me to take questions. I can also sit down.
Are there any questions for the public advocate?
I answered everything?
Yeah, I guess you did.
Appreciate it.
Flyers for the interfaith.
Are there flyers for the interfaith? Do we have flyers? I don't know if we have.
Yeah, we have a link that I can share with you.
Okay, cool.
Excellent. So,
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate everyone. Thank you.
Yep. And so now we will go to the chair's report. And so, folks, good evening. And there's a couple things. And so for folks who celebrated Ramadan, I hope that you had a very festive Eid al-Fitr. And for those who will celebrate Passover, I wish you a joyous celebration. And to those who will celebrate Easter, I hope that is also a wonderful and a happy celebration as well. And so, quick update on SUNY Downstate Brooklyn Hospital. So the third public hearing occurred on Thursday, March 13th at SUNY Downstate Brooklyn Hospital. The good news is that there will be a fourth public hearing because, thanks to many innumerable advocates, the deadline has been extended to June 1st. And so this fourth public hearing will either take place in April or May, but the point is that the advisory board will be giving another opportunity for folks to come to that public hearing and share their comments, and that also means there's additional time for community members to provide their feedback and give whatever thoughts they have and push the advisory board to come up with great recommendations for the future of SUNY Downstate. So that's very important news right there. So before this, we had 4 public hearings regarding 4 Department of Transportation applications. And so the first one was for Cafe Madeleine, a sidewalk cafe application. And so unfortunately, the applicant was not present. And so after a good amount of robust discussion from the board, the recommendation from the public hearing was to withhold the recommendation due to the applicant's absence, plus the board questions and concerns that we had, and sharing that with DOT. And so, do I have any questions from board members regarding that recommendation? So hearing none, do I have a motion for CB14 to approve that recommendation of withholding a recommendation for Cafe Madeleine's application? Did I hear a motion? Oh yeah, my bad. I know you there. I know you there. I know you speak soft. Got you, thank you. And so are there any folks, let me put it this way, yes. Are there any abstentions to that motion? Was there? Okay, got you. Are there any people ineligible to vote? Are there any people against that recommendation? Okay.
Two.
Okay. Got it. So then the motion carries. So next up was a public hearing on WorkStats Sidewalk Cafe application. And so the applicant was here represented by Robin. And in the end, the recommendation from the public hearing was to approve the application. And so do I have any questions or comments from board members regarding this? So hearing none, do I have a motion for CB14 to approve this recommendation for WorkStat? Okay, thank you. Excellent. So now, do I have any folks ineligible to vote? What? It would mean you have a conflict of interest. That would mean like you couldn't vote for this. So like maybe, yeah, like if you were a board member and you were also the owner, or maybe like you were a board member who had some sort of maybe like financial interest or whatever, then that's why you would be ineligible. So, okay. And so, so yes. So do I have any board members ineligible to vote? Any board members abstaining? Any board members opposed? Okay. So that motion carries. So next up was a public hearing on Mimi Sidewalk Cafe application. And so this was a very robust discussion. And in the end, the recommendation from the public hearing was to approve the application. And then after that recommendation carried, an ask was made to ensure that the district office works with the applicant and DOT to make sure that it's compliant. And so do board members have any questions or comments regarding the recommendation? So hearing none, do I have a motion for CB14 to approve this recommendation for Mimi Sidewalk Cafe application? Okay. Are there any folks opposed to that recommendation? Okay. So I have 1, 2, 3, I see 4.
How many? Could you raise your hands?
4 opposed.
Okay.
Okay. Do I have any folks abstaining from the vote? Do I have any folks ineligible to vote? Okay, so then the motion carries. And then the last DOT public hearing that we had was on Leah's roadway cafe application. So this entity was represented by the same person for Mimi's, and this was also another robust discussion. And in the end, the recommendation from the public hearing was to approve the application. And so do I have any questions or comments from board members? So seeing none, do I have a motion for CB14 to approve the recommendation? Okay. So do I have any abstentions for this vote? Okay. Do I have any people ineligible to vote? Do I have any people opposed to the recommendation? Okay. So the motion carries. And so now we go on to the Brooklyn Borough Board report. So the April Brooklyn Borough Board meeting took place on April 1st, last Tuesday. There's a couple main updates. So the first one is FloodNet NYC presented. So FloodNet NYC basically said what they do, and it's basically a program where their goal is to create tools for real-time urban flood monitoring. And then their hope is to make these tools accessible, and also the data that they gain accessible and actionable as well for like people and also city agencies. So they also talked about what organizations they've partnered with, the data they collect, how people can find out where their sensors are located, how people can suggest places to install new sensors, and also some of their community engagement efforts, some of their future plans. And then after that was done, there was a bit of a time where they took questions from Brooklyn board members. The second main update was that the Prospect Park Alliance presented on 4 capital projects for which they sought Brooklyn Borough Board approval. The first was the Lincoln Road Playground restoration. The second is the Fallkill Falls pathway improvements. Third is the Picnic House reconstruction. And then fourth is wayfinding in the Vale. And so for folks who are really interested in those capital projects, I would urge you to go to the Brooklyn Borough Board, I think their YouTube channel. And if they have that April meeting posted already, watch that because you'll see more in depth what those capital projects were. In the end, a motion was made and it did carry to support these 4 capital projects that the Prospect Park Alliance did present on. And then the third piece is that there's a bylaws committee that was formed for to review the Brooklyn Borough Board bylaws. So this committee had met. They said that they would meet again to discuss the bylaws, and that if any borough board members had any questions or comments or suggestions, that we could share them with them. And so the last thing I want to do is a shout out to Gail Smith. And so Gail Smith was awarded a Lifetime Achievement Award by Assembly Member Rodney's Bashat Hermelin at her annual Women of Distinction Awards ceremony. So in recognition of Gail and her achievements, we also say thank you, Gail.
Thank you.
And so please come up and accept these real flowers because we got real flowers for you.
Come on, Gail. Get some steps in, Gail.
Take pictures so we can see clearly. Oh, we can't see.
The public advocate should get in for one too, I believe.
Yes.
It's all the creative directors.
They got it.
Flowers. Put the flowers in the front.
They got it.
Nice job. Some public advocates over here too.
And so that concludes the chair's report.
That's a nice way to.
Before we conclude, question about the flood.
Yes.
NYC, you said that they have sensors across New York City. Are any in our district?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's your answer. Yes, but also
Liz
too.
knows where every single one of them is.
Okay.
Oh, you do? Yeah, but also they did say they have a map as well too, where you can see where some of the sensors are located, and basically they have a form. I think it's basically like a Google form or something like that, where people can put suggestions. So it's one of those things where they're basically crowdsourcing suggestions, and their hope is that they could fully implement 500 sensors in a couple of years. But they admitted that they definitely don't have the capacity to review all the suggestions and implement all that stuff, but there are some. And then, Denise? Yeah.
So you can go to www.floodnet.nyc/methodology, or you can just go to floodnet.nyc and then go to the methodology page, so you don't have to type that one word out. And they have a lot of information there, including a map of where all the sensors are, including data. You can click through on any particular sensor and see its historical data. It also has locations to suggest additional sensor locations. So if there's flooding in your area or in your neighbor's area, please do that, because I'm sure that the more people who suggest them, the more likely they'll be able to get them in our neighborhood, in our problem spots.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you very much for that, both of you. And so, yes, so that officially concludes the chair's report. And so now we are on the topical committees. And so first up, we have community safety, followed by the housing and land use.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So today at the 7-0 precinct, there was a memorial held for police officer Dave Guevara, who passed away from 9/11 related illnesses. He'll always be remembered for his service. And moving on to our topical committee meeting, we had two presenters on the 20th of March. And we know that we can see this on the board's YouTube channel. Zenith Taylor, Esquire, she presented, and basically she told us about civic engagement, how important it is to democracy. She wanted us to know that the courts are that they're a part of the judicial branch of government, and that she wants to build a bridge between the courts and our communities, and to let us know that they are a resource, that judges in the courts are civil servants, and there are tours that are offered to students, teachers, those who are teachers or educators, principals. You can have your students go on that tour. Adults are welcomed as well on the tours. Well, they have different tours. And currently, one of their ongoing program related to civic engagement is learning about your courts for elementary students. She also had an initiative for Constitution Day essay for students, high school students, and over 200 students submitted essays statewide, and they were not given monetary prizes, but first, second, and third prizes, and okay. And so this time she would like to have a challenge to engage the students in civic awareness by submitting PSA posters or by doing PSA videos using their artistic challenges. This is something I'd love to see, and I'm sure all of us would love to see that. And so she also would like to reestablish speech and debate clubs. How many people were a part of one of those? Fun times, right? Makes you still research things today. Okay, and so she'd like that to be, and the students would be the one to select the topics. However, they would have adults that would mediate, and this would help them to become more aware of their civic duties. So we're looking forward to those who have children or those who would like to be part of the tours. You can reach out to our district manager for her email address. And so Sean's there to assist with that. Then we had Frank Hungerer from the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office, and he explained that while the DA's office is there, it's a government agent that prosecutes crime. They're there to keep Brooklyn safe and strengthen our community's trust as well. He talked about combating gang violence, domestic violence, which is within our communities, and at times it's been up, but 2024 was a very safe year, right? And so talking about also real estate frauds, subway frauds, and crypto frauds, and that there are victim services and social workers for to assist those who have been affected by crime. And by the way, Joe Dweck did have to use the information that was given came in handy to help some folks that he knows. So, you know, it's good to attend these topical committee meetings. And so they have the Public Integrity Department, and I don't know how many of you are aware of this, they deal with unscrupulous lawyers, the lawyers who do things, take clients' monies, or when they receive the award, they do not forward that to their clients. So they bring justice and put the monies in the hands of those who should get it. They also deal with mass frauds, and those are frauds like phone scams, computer scams, romance scams, and a lot of people, there are a lot of lonely people out there. People are looking for love. A lot of people are getting scammed through the romance scams, construction scams, email, and elderly scams. We know this. But nowadays, it's not just the elderly. Pretty much everybody. They're trying to scam everyone. He advised that we take notes. Take the name, the time, the date, and make sure that you get whoever that they're representing, whatever agency they're calling about, get the name and get their identification there. You know, if they say they are a lawyer, whoever they say, whatever their titles are, take that down as well. And that way, when you call the DA's office, you can give them that information. So if someone's misrepresenting themselves as your bank, do your due diligence, hang up, and call your bank. Call the other, whatever agencies they say they're representing. So he also said that don't give out your information to anyone. I say I trust no one. And this is what I say: err on the side of caution. An ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. The Action Center hotline is 718-250-2340. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Yes, Board Member Dweck.
Right after that, a fellow worker from our synagogue scammed out of his whole life savings. He had gotten a phone call that his money in his bank account is no longer secure, and that the only place it's going to be secure is with the FBI, and we're going to come over to you and pick it up in cash. Yes. And he did that. And he came over and he actually gave him the money. So I called Nancy Lulu and I called the Action Hotline, and it's been a real process, but very, very good.
Thank you very much for thank you for sharing that with us, Joe. And you know, my apologies to that individual you're speaking of, who who unfortunately was robbed like that, right? So I do wish that individual the best as they go through that, because that is very painful. And Florencia, thank you for sharing, that very thorough recap as well. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And so next up we have Housing and Land Use Committee, followed by Human Services.
Good evening, everybody. Greg Alvarez, along with Melissa Minnick. We are the co-chairs of the Housing and Land Use Committee. On March 24th, we had our last meeting where we had 2 agenda items. The first agenda item was an appearance by David Weisglass, our team leader from the Department of City Planning, who reviewed with us the City of Yes zoning text amendments after effects, or at least the beginning effects of City of Yes. So the presentation that he provided was a lot of what we had heard before, so we moved on to discussion of district-specific items. It was a very good, hearty discussion. I encourage all of you to go to WebEx to check it out. One of the items we are going to do is obviously keep monitoring City of Yes type projects that will be coming to our district, just to move forward so we have a better communication with DCP. And now I'll turn it over to Melissa with the second item.
Thanks. So our second guest that night, we had somebody from Neighbors Helping Neighbors. His name is Anthony Coker, and he was telling us about their programs for first-time home buyers, those who are seeking down payment assistance, financial counseling, eviction prevention. They have a lot of different things that are there, and he gave a really good presentation, basically covering any and everything that they have. NHN, Neighbors Helping Neighbors, they're an affiliate of Fifth Avenue Committee, which is they're they're kind of on the border of Park Slope, Gowanus area, and so they have a lot of affordable housing all around there. But he was explaining how basically whether you're a renter, home buyer, anywhere you are, you can really find something that's of use in their programs. And so they work directly with the city's down payment assistance program, which is something that will provide up to $100,000 for somebody who's looking to buy your first place. So if you go through their home buyer counseling program, they're HUD certified, and they'll work with you to be eligible for as much as you need to get that. And we actually have something just to save the date related to all of that. NHS Brooklyn is going to be hosting their annual Housing Resource Fair on June 7th. That's a Saturday. That's going to be 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Brooklyn College Student Center. So that's going to be a lot more workshops, vendors, everything for homeowners, tenants, and first-time home buyers. And I know we're going to have flyers, everything eventually for that, but it's probably on our website already.
I think so. We'll make sure.
All right. Yeah, not yet. I have one more announcement. Okay, so another workshop, a series of workshops coming up in April and into early May from the Department of Housing Preservation and Development, HPD. So it all relates to the Where We Live NYC program, eventually to gear it towards the new fair housing plan for the city. So the upcoming workshops to talk about ideas and new plans and innovations. They invite everyone to participate. They're going to be happening all over the city, but I'll point out the ones that are happening. First, there's a virtual one that's going to be on Tuesday, April 29th on Zoom, and the access codes for that can be obtained on HPD's website, and I imagine on our website as well. Okay. And then the in-person meeting in Brooklyn will be on Thursday, May 1st at Medgar Evers College. That'll run from 6 to 8 p.m. Doors open at 5:45, and that'll take place in Academic Building 1, 1638 Bedford Avenue, room 312 in Brooklyn. And again, all this information on both websites, so we invite everyone to participate in those as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And so next up, we have the Human Services Committee, followed by Community Environment and Cultural Affairs.
Good evening, everyone. My
Good evening.
name is Yvette Claire Jean. I'm the co-chair of the Human Services Committee. We had a meeting last Thursday, April 3rd, and we had 2 presentations. The first was on the programs and services offered by OHEL, Children's Home and Family Services. And I see one of our lovely presenters here, so I won't steal too much of your thunder. But OHEL started first as a foster care agency, and then they expanded their services, and now they do a variety of things in our community, including providing residential supportive services, employment services, psychological assessment for those with disabilities, outpatient clinic, They also provide a day program for those with developmental needs and a trauma team, and as well as mobile outreach. So they have a variety of services, and they're right in our district. We also heard about their upcoming family enrichment center called Our Tent. And it's essentially a place for families and community members to engage and support one another. And they are really looking for a lot of community input. And when the enrichment center has their open house, we'll be invited. So we'll all be able to participate and give our input and really be able to form greater community together. And their website is OHEL, OHEL, family.org. Then we had a second presentation, which was an introduction to Heights and Hills services for older adults. And their main goal is to promote successful aging in Brooklyn. And so their programs and services are for those 60 and older, and they provide a variety of free services, including financial and food security, allowing people to get access to health care, support finding housing. And so they have a variety of wonderful programs, including they have a volunteer program where people can get involved, and the volunteer program, it's different components. And they have a friendly visiting program where you can go and visit someone to help them if they're isolated. There's a shopping program where you would be able to go and shop for groceries and other needs for members who are part of the program. And so they have 2 upcoming trainings on April 15th and April 28th, both on Zoom, and you can find that on their website. And they have their website is heightsandhills.org. And they also have a Park Slope Center for Successful Aging. And at that center, they offer a variety of different opportunities, including fitness classes, educational and cultural opportunities, and time for older adults to socialize with each other. And our last point of discussion at the meeting, we talked about the upcoming nonprofit roundtable, which will be on May 21st at OHEL. And Sean was seeking recommendations from the committee members, really about the agenda structure. So at times in the past, we've had a very structured agenda where we've had like a speaker and prompts. And at times we've had a looser agenda, an opportunity for nonprofit organizations to be able to speak with each other and network. So she really wants everyone's input into what we think would be great for this year's nonprofit roundtable. So if anyone has any suggestions, please reach out to Sean or myself. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that recap, Yvette. So next up, we have Community Environment and Cultural Affairs, and then Transportation.
Go, Joel.
Hi, everybody. Don't have anything too exciting for this evening. I'm the co-chair, Joel Siegel, of the Committee on Community Environment, Cultural Affairs, and Economic Development. We didn't have a meeting this past month, but we have one coming up on April 22nd on WebEx. Another presentation on flooding from the Department of Environmental Protection, and an introduction to the Center for Brooklyn History. The presenter will be a chief historian, Dominique Jean-Louis. So that could be interesting. So stay tuned. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So next up, we have the Transportation Committee, followed by Youth Services, Education, and Libraries.
I thought that was super exciting, Joel. That's going to be a great agenda.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Musa Hassan. We have no updates for the gang, but we will provide them as soon as we have them. Thank you.
So next up, we have the Youth Services, Education, and Libraries Committee.
All right, everyone. Are we the last?
Yes, we are.
They always save the best for last. So, happy Monday, everyone.
Happy Monday, Ornella.
It's been a while. I need y'all to wake up. We're going to try it again. Happy Monday, y'all.
Happy Monday.
All right, missed y'all lovely faces. You guys know that last month we had our youth conference. So we're going to kick off with some updates on that, and then we'll talk about what's coming next for YSCL. That's my acronyms for it, y'all, because I cannot say that long name.
YSCL. So I'm the co-chair, Eric Ost of YSCL, with the fabulous Ornella Parker. The youth conference, 3.5 weeks ago, feels like, I don't know, was it yesterday? Was it a million years ago?
Yeah, right.
But just thanks to everybody. First of all, it takes a village, so today we got to thank the villagers, right? So thanks to everybody who came out, obviously, and helped and volunteered, and you saw who was there, the organizations, and board members and volunteers. It was just great. We want to do some special shout-outs. Councilmember Rita Joseph for continuing to provide funding to CB14, which helps support the youth conference. We talked about how funding is so important earlier, so shout out to her office, and thank you very much. To COPO for their financial and outreach support. The Flatbush Co-op, which gave full contribution of snacks, so shop at the co-op. They're helping out the community as well. Who else I got? Oh, here we go. The Flatbush Y for partnering again, offering us discounted space. Such a great partner. The family of Dwayne Joseph, in particular, Carolyn Joseph. Farrah Lewis for her participation and for catching Florencia. That was a really important catch. Sports Center worthy.
It was.
To Ronnie Porto, who is our videographer, and so we'll get some footage from that. And to the district staff for all the work that they put in. So, we appreciate you guys.
And then thank you to everyone in the audience that, one, shared it, got kids out, you came out yourself. Again, it takes a village, so it doesn't go unnoticed. So thank you guys for everything you do. And now fast forward, we are already thinking ahead for the next youth conference, because that's how you get better, right? Yeah. With that being said, our next meeting is scheduled for April 29th. That is a Tuesday at 6:30. It's going to be on WebEx. The main item on the agenda is to reflect on the past youth conference, get feedback from the community, so that we can start planning ahead and make sure that the turnout is always better and greater. Also, before then, we're going to be doing like polls for anyone, all the students who participated, any of the community members that were part of the event, so that we also had that when we're making decisions as we plan ahead. So please, 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 if you were at the youth conference, if you have any feedback for us that's going to help us be better, please join us on April 29th. On April what? Y'all are sleeping. I caught y'all. Y'all weren't paying attention. This is how I get my kids. On April 20? Right, on April 29th, WebEx, 6:30. Please come share your feedback. We are working on some other agenda items. We are about to be in prom season, so hopefully we have some like some prom organizations that will share. But the main item again is reflecting on the youth conference. So we'll see you guys on April 20th. Yeah, okay.
We do have one. On the agenda, we do have one, the introduction to the Literacy Academy Collective. The co-founder will be there. So,
thank you folks very much for that. We estimate, so far the estimate's around like 200 or so. Yeah. No problem, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for that. And so, before I go to the public session, I do this all the time because I mean it. And so first, a round of applause for Wayne Rosenfeld and the East Midwest Jewish Center for hosting our meeting, and also for Mark Moss for live streaming the meeting, just because without both of them, we couldn't do this. And so I thank you both every time. And so now we're in the public session, and so board members are expected to remain for this public comment period. Speakers can sign up for time with Patricia or Sarah in the back of the room up until the beginning of the public comment period. Matters of civic interest and announcements of public events are invited. Folks, please, no partisan political appeals or advertising of for-profit enterprises are permitted. So each speaker will be permitted to speak for up to 3 minutes and may not receive additional time from another speaker. So speakers, when you do come to speak, please go to the podium and address the room. Speakers, I will let you know when you have 1 minute and then when you have 30 seconds left. And at the conclusion of the 3-minute period, each speaker must return to their seat. So the board does have an obligation to conduct its business in an orderly manner, and so any person preventing the meeting from continuing may be asked to leave. And so it is 8:04 p.m. The first speaker is Nancy Moriso, and if I mispronounce your name, please correct me. Is it Moriso? Okay, got it. So Nancy Moriso, and then after that is Asher Cunningham. So Nancy, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Nancy Moriso, she, her pronouns, and I am from Public Health Solutions. And I wanted to share with the community a new resource that's available. We are participating in the New York 1115 Medicaid waiver. And as part of that, we are the social care network. So we are in Brooklyn, Queens, and Manhattan, Public Health Solutions specifically, but the 1115 waiver is statewide. Essentially, for those that are on Medicaid, they have the opportunity to sign up for free enhanced services to meet their health-related social needs. So the health-related social needs are essentially those factors outside of healthcare that impact our health. So thinking about housing, education, employment. This is also known as the social determinants of health. And so at Public Health Solutions, we are partnering with community-based organizations in order to screen all of the Medicaid members in Brooklyn, Queens, and Manhattan. So that's a few million people that we want to get screened before the end of the calendar year. And so I came to speak a little bit about it because we launched in January. We want community members to know about it because as a Medicaid member, you can directly go and conduct a screening on your own, and essentially the screening will identify if you do have those health-related social needs, and then you'll be able to link with a community-based organization that will help navigate you through the system, whether you are eligible for enhanced social services or if you'll be navigated to existing state and local services. So really, we're trying to grow the network, both in terms of community-based organizations. So if you're a part of a community-based organization that serves Medicaid members, this is an opportunity for you to partner with us. And within the waiver, we're funded for...
1 minute left, Nancy, just a heads up.
Okay, thank you. We are funded for $7.5 billion statewide and locally. Actually don't know that exact number, but the funding is guaranteed. I know folks are concerned about, the federal government cutting things, but we do have that funding at least through the year. And if as a community-based organization you were to join the social care network, which is what we're calling it, you're eligible to apply for capacity building funds, which essentially is money to help you stand up the program and to fund staff. That includes funding for technology, if you need iPads for screening and things like that, staff time, et cetera. So if you're interested, I'll be here. Again, my name is Nancy Moriso, and you can connect with me and I can give you further information.
Okay. Thank you so much for that, Nancy. Appreciate that.
Nancy, it seems like your participation in the nonprofit roundtable on May 21st would be really valuable. So we'll be getting our save the dates out, and I'll make sure we get one to you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you so much. So next up, and again, if I mispronounce this, please correct me, Asher Cunningham. All right. Yeah.
Well, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So my name is Asher Cunningham, and I wanted to take this moment to stop by CB14 to introduce myself. I am the Vice President Community Manager with JP Morgan Chase. And I wanted to introduce myself because much of the communities, well, I'm the community manager for Flatbush, and what that means is that in 2020, JP Morgan made an investment into communities to provide resources like community managers. There are actually 5 community managers in Brooklyn, and I'm one of them. And we bring the breadth of Chase into the communities that we serve. And one of the things that we do directly is financial health. So we come into communities, partner with nonprofit organizations, government agencies, and really push to bring the communities back to a place of financial health through financial education. And so I wanted to just let us know that we are here to help you, to partner with you, and to move communities like Flatbush back to a place of financial health and prosperity. I also wanted to stop by and invite the board to our mixer at the Flatbush branch, which is our hub, on May 7th. That's a place where we're bringing all nonprofits together, the community together, to just mix and mingle. Again, one of the ways that we do that is to really connect them through the One Chase partnership, home lending, small business, and wealth management. We want you to know that I'm a resource. I'm here to help you, and I'm here to partner with you. If you're interested, my email is asher.cunningham@chase.com. I can partner with your organizations. Again, I'm the community manager for Flatbush. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Cunningham. Okay. So next up, we have Mary Kay Siri.
Very efficient.
Hi, everybody. Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm here to promote our annual Spring Clean and Green event, which is May 4th, Sunday. And you'll be able to do all your e-cycling. So that's all your TVs and monitors and computers and VCRs. There's also going to be textile recycling and paper shredding. There's also going to be the DMV mobile unit, and they're going to have limited capacity to do enhanced licenses and real IDs. So check out the flyers. I think we put one up on the community CB14
Yeah, we just
website.
got that today, I think. So if it's not up there, it will be.
Okay, and because there's a lot of details about each thing, like what you can and cannot bring and what you need to do to prepare to go to the DMV mobile unit. And there's also on the one that I sent to CB14, there's a QR code. So if you do plan on coming and bringing your e-cycling, please RSVP so we can tell them how many trucks to bring to pick up all the e-cycling. So thanks very much and hope to see you on May 4th.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mary. Cool. So next up, we have Malika Grossman from OHEL.
Hi, everybody. My name is Malika Grossman.
Good evening.
And you hear me? Okay. And I'm the Family Enrichment Center Director. A lot of you, I'm really, really excited to be here. I want to introduce to you something that's extremely dear to my heart. And the name of our Family Enrichment Center is called Our Tent. Perhaps you heard about the growing network of family enrichment centers across New York City, and Our Tent is proud to be one of them, right here in Flatbush Midwood. So what exactly is a family enrichment center? Imagine a welcoming space, walking in, think of your neighborhood living room, where families, community members are not only welcome, but are actively encouraged to learn, support one another, and participate. Our Tent isn't just a center, it's one that has been and will continue to be co-designed with you, our community. We believe that those who live here know what's best for our families, what that needs to thrive. That's why we're working hand in hand with local leaders, residents, to shape everything we do, from everything from our door-to-door programs, all the way down to our paint, to furniture, everything. Our tent isn't just a center, it has been, our tent, you'll be able to find various opportunities designed to strengthen families and build stronger community fabric. We focus on the protective factors. These are essential elements that will help navigate life's challenges. Think of them basically as the sturdy ropes to navigate and holding up our tent. The protective factors are parental resilience, social connections, concrete support in time of need, knowledge of parenting and childhood development, social and emotional competence of children. The best part? Our tent is free, voluntary, and open to everyone in our community. You can simply walk in, participate in activities, volunteer your time, or just connect with one another. We don't require any personal information to participate. We are not involved in case management services. We are simply here to be supportive and enriching presence in your lives.
1 minute left, Malka.
Thank you. Our vision, our tent, is to be the cornerstone in our community, a place where families feel supported, children can flourish, and everyone feels a sense of connection and belonging. We believe by working together, we can create a stronger, resilient community for all. So how can you guys get involved? We encourage you to visit our tent, which we're not open as of yet, but we are going to have an open house, God willing, after Passover, to have community members come and join us to help us co-design our space, to help us really imagine and kind of develop our center on your wants and your needs.
Excellent. 30 seconds.
You can also reach out to me at malka_grossman@ohelfamily.org. I have flyers here and anything else if you need. I'm here to answer your questions, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you, everybody, for having me.
Thank you as well, too. Okay, so next up we have Brittany Dixon.
Okay, there you go. Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Brittany Dixon, and I am from Assemblymember Cunningham's office. Happy National Poetry Month. I'm just going to get into some quick office general items. We are located on 249 Empire Boulevard. Our number is 718-771-3105, and we are open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, with Friday appointment only. So some events that we wrapped up from late March into early April. We had just done a housing town hall with CB9 to address affordable housing. As you may know, the Assembly member spearheads the Faith-Based Affordable Housing Act, and with that, we're trying to find the best way to kind of incorporate that into our communities. Outside of that, we wrapped up our education roundtable, and we had a meeting regarding legislation. I do want to commend Ms. Parker for all of the assistance that she has brought to the table regarding how we can better support our educators and the ways that we can kind of implement that into legislation regarding like Albany items. For some events that we have coming up, we will have NILAC coming to our office May 8th. We had them come April 3rd, and it was amazing. We were able to service about 7 constituents, mainly immigration issues and some housing issues. So our next appointments will be May 8th, and we'll have them the first Thursday of each month into July. Additionally, we are going to have our annual Easter egg hunt April 19th at Barrow Park, and that's going to be at 1 p.m. And then May 8th, we're going to have our annual Women of Distinction event at the Brooklyn Children Museum. So if you guys have any other questions, I will be here. But aside from that, thank you all and enjoy your evening.
Thank you very much. So next up, we have Nancy Lulu.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
It's great to be here. I bring greetings on behalf of DA Gonzalez to everyone. I just wanted to share that the Brooklyn DA's office, in collaboration with the NYPD, held a successful gun buyback event this past Saturday at the Cornerstone Baptist Church, and I am glad to report that 195 firearms were collected and are now off the streets of Brooklyn, so that's a great turnout. I also would like to share and announce that on April 25th, the Brooklyn DA's office is holding a prescription drug take-back event. It will be held from 10 to 4, and it will be throughout Brooklyn at 8 drop-off locations. So if you have any unused, unwanted, expired medications, feel free to drop off for safe disposal. I have flyers in the back. The closest site to here, I would say, is Kings Bay Y in Sheepshead Bay, and we have other locations. We have one in Bay Ridge and throughout Brooklyn. And as always, I want to remind you, if there's any issue or anything that we'd like to address with the DA's office, like Joe Dwake did, he reached out and he tried to help someone, and we're looking into that matter. Reach out to our Action Center. The number there is 718-250-2340. I also want to wish everyone a happy and blessed Easter, a blessed and happy upcoming Passover, and thank you to CB14 for everything and having us this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. All right, so next up we have Brian Grady.
Hi, good evening. I'm Brian Grady, Director of Constituent Services for Councilmember Rita Joseph. I do just want to wish everyone a happy Easter and a happy Passover for those who are celebrating, and I hope everyone enjoyed a wonderful Eid. So I have a few announcements. The first, I have some ballots and a QR code on the back. We are in the waning hours of the City Council's participatory budget voting week. So that is going to be until 11:59 tonight. If you haven't voted and would still like to do so, again, please scan the QR code or run, don't walk, and fill out one of the paper ballots in the back and hand it back to me as quickly as you can, as I am quite sleepy. A few other events just of note. So we have two events coming up for parents in short order. So the first will be on Friday at Morris Heights Health Center at 1095 Flatbush Avenue. This is Healthy Parents, Healthy Babies Community Resource Fair. We'll have some rallies, resources, and giveaways there. And then next week, Monday, April 14th, again at Morris Heights Health Center, the free breastfeeding support group. So this will provide expert breastfeeding guidance and also some giveaways there. So the QR codes are on both of those if you'd like to attend. We will also be having our monthly New York Legal Assistance Group van in the district on Wednesday, April 16th. So we start taking appointments for that if you have any housing or benefits related questions that you'd like some help with. Possibly my most important announcement tonight, our office is going to be sponsoring a lien sale event. So if anybody who has been contacted by Department of Finance letting you know that your property is eligible for the lien sale, we're going to be having Department of Finance out on Wednesday, April 16th from 5 to 8. That'll be at PS 235 at 525 Lenox Road. If you have been getting notices about the lien sale, please don't wait to go to that. I have some more information about the lien sale in the back. There are a number of different ways that you can apply to get your name off the lien sale list. If you need any guidance with those, please feel free to contact our office.
1 minute, Brian.
And last but not least, we have HPD in our district. They will next be around on Wednesday, May 21st from 10 to 5 to help with applications for affordable housing, your rights and responsibilities, filing a housing complaint, and much, much more. As ever, we have FDC and CUF in our office to provide affordable housing help on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and you can also reach out to us for assistance with immigration by appointment. If you need to reach us about anything else, you can contact us at 718-287-8762 or come visit us Monday through Thursday, 10 to 5 at 930 Flatbush Avenue. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Brian. So next up, we have Avraham Malachowski.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Avraham. I'm representing Councilmember Farrah Lewis. I'd like to begin by wishing all who celebrated a happy Eid and a happy and safe Purim. I'd like to also begin by thanking Chair Cesar for the opportunity to speak, and a special thank you for District Manager Campbell for everything that you do. Last month, we held a bunch of community events, including our annual Women of Distinction event, where we honor District 14's very own Baza Ruhi. So she's not here tonight, but let's give her a round of applause anyhow. On March 12th, Councilmember partnered with Councilmember Ina Vernikov's office, as well as the Speaker's office, to host a housing benefits seminar to show anybody what housing benefits they may be eligible for. Additionally, it is now in the middle of budgeting, as everyone is very well aware, and the council member is fighting for everything for our district and beyond to just make sure that the cuts are dealt with and that everything will be dealt with well. Additionally, we are on top of the thing that District Manager Campbell mentioned earlier, which was about the pay disparity in community boards. We are on top of that. You've actually spoken with the council member about it, and
appreciate her support.
No, absolutely. And let's see what else we have. We also have some upcoming events. Like Brian, I brought a bunch of these little things, which is for participatory budgeting. Your deadline is tonight, so just scan this QR code. Takes 2 minutes. It will ask you a couple of questions. You say which project you think is the best, and then you move on with your day. But it takes 2 minutes to make your voice heard, and you get to decide how $1 million of our budget gets spent. So it's something that I would not miss. Mm-hmm. Additionally, we have 2 tree giveaways in partnership with the New York Restoration Project. We have one that will be taking place actually this Saturday on April 12th by the Clarendon branch of the New York Public Library. We will be giving out free trees and free gardening equipment if that's something that you're interested in. Additionally, we're having another one on the 19th where we will be giving out trees as well as composting kitchen receptacles. I actually brought one with me here today, but I forgot to bring it up to the front. So just imagine I'm holding it here, and if anybody would like to see it, you can come to me afterwards, and I'll show you one.
There it is, bro.
Teamwork.
There we go. You did a better job at showing it than I would.
Thank you, Nancy.
Additionally, we have our Family Fun Day event at Pattergate Park this week, if the weather holds, hoping it does. We will be having our Easter egg hunt. We will be having it will be a lot of fun for the family.
45 seconds, Abraham.
What did you say?
45 seconds.
Okay, so as always, our office is located 1434 Flatbush Avenue. We're open Monday to Friday. Anything that anyone needs, you can stop by. You can call us 718-629-2900. And I'd like to end by wishing all who celebrate a happy Easter and a happy Passover. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Abraham.
I actually want to add to your report really quickly, because not only did Councilmember Lewis, not only is she being supportive, but she actually took the lead at the Committee on Finance City Council budget hearing at making sure that the issue was raised. It was brought up with Dr. Jiha, the director at the Office of Management and Budget. So we appreciate that, and we're going to keep following up, though.
So thank you for that. And so next person up, let me make sure I get this right. I believe Rose Manigat.
Oh, there's one. I need to get Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
My name is Rose Manigat. I'm here with Little Haiti BK, a nonprofit organization that services mostly the Little Haiti BK, the Little Haiti portion of BK, but a lot of Flatbush as well. For tonight, I just have 2 announcements for you guys for 2 events that we have going on. We're having a merchant meeting that's going to be taking place Monday, April 14th at 7 p.m. I have a flyer back there that looks like this. It's going to be held at Ambatonel/Bonbonbon, located on 1407 Flatbush Avenue at 7 p.m. We'll be serving some refreshments, but the meeting is a chance for local merchants to connect, share updates, discuss challenges, and collaborate on ways we can continue improving and strengthening our business district. If you own or manage a business or someone you know does, please invite them over. We'd love for you to join us and be part of that conversation. The second announcement I have is a free MWBE certification info session that's going to be happening, and it's virtual on Monday, April 22nd at 7 p.m. The flyer back there looks like this. There's a registration link, or you could just email us at info@littlehaitibk.org for both of these events. The session will walk entrepreneurs through the process of becoming certified as a minority or women-owned business, covering everything from eligibility, application process, the benefits of the certification, and one of those benefits is obviously access to like city contracts and things like that. Both events are like a great way for us to connect and for you to advocate for your business. We encourage everyone to attend and help spread the word. You can follow us at Little Haiti BK online to be aware of all the other things that we have going on. We have some beautification, some planting and painting things that are coming up for the month of April. Look out for that on Instagram, and I'll be around for a little bit. Again, the email is info@littlehaitibk.org. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So next up, we have Antonia Bramble with the Brooklyn Public Library.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Greetings from Brooklyn Public Library. Please join us for a community read-in and take action against an alarming rise in censorship. It will take place from 12 to 7 p.m. on Thursday, April 10th. It will be in the Central Library's Grand Lobby to exercise your freedom to read, spend some time with the pages of a banned book, and learn how you can support libraries by signing our pledge, writing a letter, and learning more about the library's Book Unbanned initiative. Also, National Library Week is this week. It's an annual celebration highlighting the valuable role libraries and library professionals play in transforming lives and strengthening our communities. The Book Unbanned team has provided mini grants to branches to support National Library Week programs across the system, from quiet reading parties to teen craftivism. Also, I also have this one. Our Brooklyn Public Library annual gala will return to Central Library on Wednesday, June 11. Throughout the year, Brooklyn Public Library Development Department raises funds from community members, foundations, and corporations that allow BPL to provide patrons with responsive programs, help build our collections, and provide support for our core services. BPL Gala is our largest fundraising event of the year and gives us an opportunity to raise private financial support for all sorts of programs and services that we and the public care deeply about. Honorees are selected in collaboration with the library board based on thoughtful consideration of their relationship to the library, their impact on the community, and our cultural life of our society. So Google has made meaningful investment in Brooklyn Public Library's digital literacy and training program over the last several years, including Teen Techies, the Crown Heights Teen Tech Center, workforce advancement programs like Level Up, and through employee volunteerism.
1 minute, Antonia.
Which has opened doors to opportunities for hundreds of teens and adults patrons over the years. The gala will also celebrate the Teen Techies program on its 20th year of service. At the gala, we will also honor our hometown champions, the New York Liberty. I will let you go.
The Spring Business and Career Center at Grand Army Plaza Central Library is offering offerings designed to help the public, from take charge of your debt to walk-in cannabis business counseling from the Brooklyn Business Solutions Center to green trades, jobs in clean energy. Also, we would like to wish everyone a happy upcoming Easter and Passover and holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Anthony Duran.
So I'll make sure not to waste too much of your time. I know how these community boards go. I just want to reintroduce myself. You guys know Jumani, of course, as the public advocate, but I'm also a newborn baby in his office as the new community affairs advocate for the borough of Brooklyn. So you guys should be seeing me a lot more. I just want to express certain collaborations or initiatives that I'm working on myself. And I just wanted to share my praise for, I heard a few voices just speak about civic engagement, youth civic engagement. That's something I'm big on as a 25-year-old man. Young adults who, I am a product of kind of unorthodox teachings. I went to school went to Academy for Peace and Social Justice. I've been kind of involved in civic duty since I was 8 years old, and I think it's important to kind of lean on the youth in our community, in our cities. And that's where I come in and try. I know a lot of beautiful young adults and beautiful teens who have great ideas and don't necessarily know how to communicate that to them, nor do they have necessarily the patience to really understand the whole system of everything. So that is what I'm trying to kind of work on. So if anybody has any ideas, or you guys have had an idea and you want to kind of collaborate, I would love to do that. Also mental health, which is really big. I've lost a friend last year due to suicide. So that is another thing I am trying to kind of bring to the forefront. Men's mental health, but all in all, everyone's mental health. And like Jumani does, breathe in, breathe out. It's so real and it's so needed. So thank you. Again, I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Anthony Duran. I don't have any cards on me at the moment, but if anybody wants to just share any contact, just come up to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that, Anthony. I appreciate that. And so I want to thank all of the members of the public for coming out tonight and, taking the time to share these updates and also sometimes be more vulnerable than you would expected. I really appreciate and thank every one of you for doing that, because it is always great to hear about the work, new and ongoing, that people are doing. So this concludes the public comment period. And so do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, so then it is adjourned at 8:34 p.m. Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, that Avenue J traffic's not going to be bad, right? Thank you so much.